Today I did my usual warm-up with Aries. Each time we lunge, I try to get him to relax his back and lower his head more and more. It's a work in progress. Today we again did the cloverleaf pattern under saddle. This pattern allows Aries to learn not only how to turn, but how to go straight. Sometimes straight is harder to get than turning. If Aries gets indecisive about which direction to go, I add more energy to his step. Getting him to go forward will help reduce his wiggliness. The ultimate goal is to not use the reins at all. So as I gesture with the reins, I am also using my leg and seat to turn him. The easiest way to ask for a turn with the leg is to wait until the leg you want to turn is in the air. So as I ask him for a turn, I will use my outside leg on him as his outside front leg is in the air, asking it to step over. The same process can be applied instead using the inside front leg. Aries was being a little reluctant about moving forward, so I started to use the small rope I had tied to my saddle. This just reminds him that when I asked him to go forward with my seat and leg, I was serious. After doing the cloverleaf pattern with Aries, I then took him over to the round pen to work on his canter and get in some more trotting under saddle. We aren't quite ready to trot in the big ring just yet. His canter is coming along. Now that he is pretty good about doing the canter when asked, I can now ask him to hold it for longer. Once a horse understands what is being asked, the best way to get them really comfortable with it is just to do it over and over. Since the canter is Aries' weakest gait, he's got a lot of cantering in his future. Aries still prefers his left side over his right. Notice here he tries to put me on his left side when he comes in. I ask him to keep facing me with his right side. If he's been tracking right, there is no reason to come into the center and put me back on the left side. Now that Aries is more comfortable at the trot, he can do it for longer intervals, 1 or 2 circles instead of just part of a circle. It always amazes me to see the difference in Aries, even day to day. It can be that he learns just one new thing, and suddenly his whole perspective shifts. Remember what he looks like right now, and compare it to how he rides at the end of my lesson with Lena, that's coming up next. Big difference. Before we started our lesson, I did my usual ground and ride warm-up with Aries, just getting him to focus and pay attention to me. Here I am asking Aries to bring his head around to my knee. I don't want him to move. He is having to learn the difference between this request and when I ask him to disengage his hindquarters, which also involves bringing his head around, but with the added aid of my leg, and the head is drawn around slightly differently. For the head turn only, I plant my hand on my knee. For the hindquarter disengaging, I will draw my hand more towards my core, making my body twist a little bit. In today's lesson, Lena taught us what she called a direct and indirect turn. Basically, Aries is asked to yield his hindquarters for the first half of the turn, and then asked to finish by bringing his shoulders around. This is accomplished by first asking for a hindquarter yield. Once the hindquarters step under and over, the rider sits back and brings the inside rein up, asking the shoulders to come around and finish the turn. This exercise will turn Aries into a very supple horse. When you have control over both the front feet and the hind feet, you can then ask for proper bend, shoulder in, change the degree of turn, and much, much more. To spice up the exercise and further Aries' comfort level with it, we asked him to trot in between the turns. This keeps his feet and mind moving forward, not getting stuck and worried about the exercise. Notice here the hind end moves over and under, and that front left shoulder yields and comes across the turn. Compared to the previous filming day, Aries' trot is much more forward and committed and relaxed. He isn't changing speed as much, he's just going. Aries gets a little startled here when he is reminded that aids need to be taken seriously. We also learned how to back up. I start by bouncing my legs a little bit. This is the aid I want him to listen to. Since he doesn't know what it means, I follow it with lightly bumping on one rein, bringing the rein up under his jaw. Lena ends up stepping towards him a bit to encourage him to move back. I am showing you this in real time so you can appreciate how quickly he learns. This is now his second time ever backing up. Did it in a fraction of the time it took the first time. Lena and I joked. It's like he thinks, hey, I don't understand what you want. Can you explain? Oh good, got it, thanks. This is one of his best stops. He sits down a little bit behind and is standing almost perfectly square. Now we are building a set of patterns. Trot, stop, back up, walk on, trot, direct and indirect turn, trot, stop, back up. Now that he has all of these pieces, they can now be strung together to create a pattern. Aries is a bit reluctant to yield his shoulder sometimes, so I was using my hand to tap him over. Next week, I will probably carry a short stick so I don't have to lean over to tap him. All of these aids are bridges. Ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, I want him to listen to just my seat and leg. It really is quite amazing to watch Aries learn. I hope one day I can get him comfortable enough with someone else so they can ride and I can watch. You can always see his wheels turning and the connections being made. And Aries really does seem to enjoy learning and having a purpose. I am very excited to get him out on trails and really start exploring.